Shalom to the nation of Israel, and to the Barzal, come in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the hopeful elect, push his word in truth as sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This quick lesson is going to be titled, You Can't Teach This Knowledge to Every Spirit. Right? And the reason why it's titled that is because, you know what? Not everyone, it just gets to a point where you just don't want to, I'm not going to tell you this because you're just not capable of handling the truth. Right? You're not meant to hold this truth, right? The reason why the reason how you figure that out is you kind of test them out. You give them little bits and pieces and crumbs, and if they can't even chew crumbs, if they can't even drink milk, then there's no point of having a conversation with this individual. So you just kind of keep it moving. So you have to give them a test, and the scriptures say try the spirits, right? Let me see if I can find that. Try the spirits. First John 4:1, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of Yahweh. Because why? Because not every spirit is of Yahweh, right? Because we're only looking for the elect at the end of the day. So not every spirit is, well, the elect is a small number. So the majority of everyone is either they're a heathen or they're a 2/3, right? It's really one or the other. Or you can say they're a heathen, they're a 2/3, or they're Edomite, right? So how do you try them out? You gotta have questions, quick questions to ask, right? And you see how they handle it, or quick truths. Yeah, you have quick questions to ask because then you're gonna give them the answer and see how they handle the answer, right? If that makes sense to them and it actually vibes with them, then okay, who knows? Let's see how this goes. And you continue with the conversation with that individual. But you ask a quick question, you give them a quick answer, right? And it's like it's just milk that you're giving them, and they start choking on it, and they're like, man, they spit it back on your face, and then you already know. You just keep it moving. Don't waste your time with them, right? So you have to use discernment, right? And sometimes you might not even get in a conversation with individuals just based off the energy that they're giving you. You won't even get to that point. Like that's happened sometimes where you end up talking to somebody, but sometimes you won't even end up talking to them. Just someone just gives you this bad energy, and you just keep it moving. You know, which is spiritual discernment. But those are gifts you have to ask Yahweh Shai to get, right? You have to ask for those things. So obviously in the beginning, you're going to end up talking to people. Just when you end up talking to people, you have to have kind of questions to ask to see if you're going to continue this conversation, because you don't want to waste your time, right? You have things to do, right? Spiritually, you have things to do. So you're looking for the elect. So you just have the quick question, like milk questions, right? And you give them the answer, see how they did, see if they can swallow the milk. If they can't even swallow the milk and they start choking on it and they spit it back in your face and they say, oh, this tastes bad, and it's spiritually, then you know, then you just keep it moving, right? Because like I said, we are looking for the elect. We're only dealing with the elect. That's it. So 2 Ezra 12:37, therefore write all these things that thou hast seen in a book and hide them, right? Hide them from who? Hide them from everyone else that's not the elect. Right? Because we're only looking for elect. We're only looking to open this book to the elect. The book is already open, but when I say open the book, I mean give the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Hashem Yoshai to the elect, right? Because just like right doing these videos, only the elect are going to hear and they're going to be sealed, and it's going to make sense to them. Everyone else is blinded. Everyone else is muted from the truth. They will hear it, but they won't listen to it. They won't apply action to those words that they hear. They're just a hearer. Oh, I hear it. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Cool. Then they go back to committing their wickedness, right? In person, like I said, some people, you get to a point where you look at them and you get the energy, nothing's gonna happen. Because remember, Yahweh Shai controls everything and too. You might just make someone come up to you to ask you a question. Okay, then you have to ask them a certain question and see how they handle the question. See if they handle the milk. Right? And you see how the conversation goes. So it depends. Depends how it plays out. I'm gonna read the 38. And teach them to do the wise of the people, Let me read it again. And teach them to the wise of the people, whose minds thou knowest may comprehend and keep these secrets. See? And how are you going to know these things? You got to ask some questions. You'll know this person can handle this information because you're talking to them, you're asking them specific questions. You're testing them, right? You got to try the spirits. Try means it goes into the word test, trial, right? Then you'll know. So now we're going to Revelation 22:1. Revelation 22:1. I'll read it in the NLT. Then the angel showed me a river with the water of life, clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of Yahweh and the Lamb. Well, it's like it, 22:11, not 22:1. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, there we go. Revelation 22:11. Let the one who is doing harm continue to do harm. Let the one who is vile continue to be vile. Let the one who is righteous continue to live righteously. Let the one who is holy continue to be holy. Right? So basically, yeah. So like, if there's someone who just wants to be wicked, leave him. Let them be wicked still. That's what the scripture. That's what it says in the KJV, right? So I read the KJV. It says, "He that is unjust, let him be unjust still, and he which is filthy, let him be filthy still, and he that is righteous." I like the KJV better for this, right? It just hits a little bit better. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still, and he that is holy, let him be holy still, right? So you can see, that's why I said spiritual discernment. It gets to a point where you just look at the person and how they conduct themselves and stuff. Like, you don't even waste your time talking to them, because faith without works is dead. So everyone shows their faith by their works, right? It just depends what they believe in. You can say, I believe in the Most High, but then you're going to commit an adultery. Then you don't believe in the Most High, you believe in Satan. So there's a confusion there, right? So you just, based on how someone acts, you can tell what they're about, right? By their spirit, by their actions, how they carry themselves. You can tell what that individual's about. So then you know who you should approach, who you should actually talk to, who you stay away from, right? That's spiritual discernment, right? And the scriptures talk about that, like the gait of a man, his countenance, right? All these things. That's how you analyze people. The scriptures talk about analyzing people. Just people just don't know how to decipher that information and use it or extrapolate that information. But it teaches you everything. It teaches you everything, right? And it teaches you the right way to do it. There's no loopholes. There's no tricks. It's just straightforward. It never lies. Like when you do things of the scriptures, it never lies. It's just 100% truth, right? So we're gonna go to. Well, I already read that. We're gonna go back to 1 John. This is the last one. And we're gonna read from 4 this time. So 1 John 4, and we're gonna read this. We're gonna read from 4. Read to 6. But ye, let me see. Okay, let's read that NLT. 1 John 4:4. But you belong to Yahweh, Bashem Yashai, my dear children. You have already won a victory over those people, because the spirit who lives in you is greater than the spirit who lives in the world. Those people belong to this world, so they speak from the world's viewpoint, and the world listens to them, right? So yeah, these people in the world, you don't want to waste your time with them, man. It gets to a point you just don't want to talk to them. Like, you don't even want to be around them, right? To your family, you might seem like an outcast or the black sheep of the family, because you just know something's off. Like this, you just know that you just don't vibe with it. You don't vibe with what they do, what they say, what they want. Like, you don't vibe with that stuff. You kind of just see it's just stupid and it's pointless and it's a waste of time, right? It's because there's worldly stuff. There's no life in that. And that's why people in the world always have to go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, because they're looking for life. But their faith, right? Their faith, or I should say, their faith comes from a dead source. Their faith comes from a unlively source. Their faith comes from a source that is of evil, right? Their faith comes from a source that has no living waters, right? Their faith comes from the devil and Satan, right? Now, Satan's doing his job from the Most High on the left-hand side, but nonetheless, he's doing his job in the evil set. So their faith comes from those things. So that's why they always have to go to the next thing. They're always looking for the next dopamine hit, the next adrenaline rush to make them feel alive, because they don't feel alive. They feel dead. They're zombies. That's why they always have to go to one thing. They can never sit still. People in the world, they can never sit still. They always have to do one thing. Oh, I got to get a tattoo. Okay, let me get piercings. Oh, let's go jump off of a plane. Let's go do what's that shit called? It's like when they're running from building to building, like you're running and jumping and hiding and doing flips and stuff. Fuck, what's it called? Fuck, the name's just on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, but they like to do things to get adrenaline rushes, right? They always like to, because they don't, it makes them feel alive, because they're not alive. They're dead in their spirit. They're dead. Which has, like I said, that's why they can't sit still. But when you're in this truth, you learn how to sit still. You learn like, oh, I don't want to go. I don't need to go to these places and do all these fucking crazy shit. You don't care for it, because you know it's a waste of your time. And the more you get involved in the truth, the more closer you get with Yahweh Shem Shai, the more you're gonna want that spiritual adrenaline rush. The more you're gonna want that spiritual dopamine hit, because that spiritual dopamine hit lasts longer. It's a better hit, right? Spiritually, I'm talking spiritually, right? It lasts longer, and you actually get more benefits from it, more health benefits from it, right? Spiritually and physically. So people in the world, they're just a waste. It gets to a point where you just don't want to deal with them. Hence why you get so good at discerning spirits, at discerning people, at reading people, reading their body language, their behaviors and stuff like that. So you know who to talk to, who not to talk to. It gets to that point, right? Because like I just said in the scripture, I'll read number 5. It says, those people belong to this world, so they speak from the world's viewpoint, and the world listens to them, right? So people of the world, they're not going to really listen to what you have to say. So that's another way to test them too. You're going to tell them the truth, and they're not going to listen to it. So you know that this is not for them. So you don't even waste your time talking to them. That's another way to test them out, right? Like I read earlier, try the spirits, right? Verse 6, but we belong to Yahweh, and those who know Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai listen to us. Exactly. See, so that's how you try the spirit. When you tell them the truth, right? They listen. That's an indicator of how you know they are now they are that they're a spirit of Yahweh Shem Yoshai, right? So these are how you try this. These are the ways of how you try the spirits. If they do not belong to Yahweh, they do not listen to us. See, very simple, straightforward, right? Simple, straightforward of how to analyze people. No bullshit, no other unnecessary details. Simple and straightforward. Because you're going to the spirit. It has nothing to do with the flesh and alter. What's not the word I'm looking for? External appearance, right? It's just straightforward. You're just talking to the spirit. That's all that matters at the end of the day, right? It really is the only thing that matters. It's good to know the other stuff too. Don't get me wrong. It's very good too. But if there's one you had to pick to know, to really fully understand, is the spiritual aspect. The other stuff can come after, right? So it says that is how we know if someone has a spirit of truth or the spirit of deception. There you go. There you go. Very simple and straightforward. That's all that matters. Whether they have the spirit of truth, which is of Yahweh Shem Yoshai, or a spirit of deception, which is of Satan, right? And the devil. That's it. So anyways, that's it on that. I'd like to close out by saying, Kal Hala Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Recha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the hopeful elect pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharallah, and Shalom.